And you better not get so comfortable and so lost in what it looks like that you forget we got to be ready to go. We got to be ready for a mission. We got to be ready for the alarm to sound. We've got to be ready. We have got a holy purpose. Our city deserves a house that is locked into its purpose. Your neighborhood deserves a house that is locked into its purpose. Our whole area deserves a church that collectively is bought into a purpose, and we've got to make decisions in our home that make it work. That make it work. Empowering the home as a kingdom outpost of ministry. Well, what's your discipleship process at First Church? The dinner table. No, but I mean, what's your, like, how do you teach people who they're supposed to be and how they're supposed to act? The dinner table. Now, you know, we're working on curriculum. We're going to resource you. We're going to help guide conversations. And we're even going to have a class. But I'm not depending on a class to turn people into disciples. You turn people into disciples. And your greatest shot at producing disciples is the people that live in your house right now. But you got to get comfortable having discipleship conversations with those people that live in your house. Deuteronomy 6:6-7. And these words that I command you today shall be on your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your children. You shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise. Why? Because we can't have a global revival if we don't have a personal revival. Small group mission. And I'm going to ask them to throw a QR code up here. We talked about small groups. You're probably tired of hearing about small groups. Why do we do small groups? Because you've got a purpose and a mission. If you don't have the app that links to right there, that's the Church Center app. That's how you can best engage with your small group. It lets them take attendance. It lets you get announcements, all that. Scan that right now. You think, well, that's not spiritual. No, it's not spiritual. It's just yet another app for your phone. Yet another thing that's just trying to get your attention. No, it's the way you can connect. We know you use your phone, so we're just going to go where you are. It's the way you connect best with your small group. We're trying to do all these things. We're trying to make it as easy as we can for you, but ultimately it comes down to your decision to realize that I am God's plan. You are God's plan. I'm going to play a video for you here that we shot this week. I want to tell you a story and share with you a story of what happens when a person gets a mission and a vision that doesn't come from a plan from the church, doesn't come from some pastor saying, hey, you need to do this. This is what happens when a person listens to what God says. Check this out.
Hi, I'm Tim. I've been going to this church for many years now, and it was definitely something that was impressed on me is giving and doing for others, especially how involved our church has been with mission works. And it kind of started at a small scale. Before I had much money to do anything with, before I had my own business, I started helping out with a trailer park and seeing a huge need there and just doing what I could when I could, whether it be taking the kids to fast food place or something just to get them a meal here and there, or bringing groceries whenever the need arose, to actual Christmas presents. One of the things that really came up, we discovered that most of these kids weren't getting anything or very little for Christmas, and so me and a friend of mine really started trying to help them out as much as we could. And in that experience, I really learned a lot about giving. I learned the blessing of giving. I learned the fulfillment you feel from it, and really just not trying to hold on to anything in physical and feeling importance in that. And I believe through that, God has blessed me, and I'm able to do more and give more because of that. Several years ago, I went to India on a missions trip with the church. I'd been to several countries doing missions trips and traveling, and never experienced anything like culture shock before until I got to India, and that's exactly what I would call it. I was in total shock by the living conditions of people in India. From a Western or American perspective, it was just mind-blowing. From everything just like animals on the road, stuff like that. But specifically, one time we were driving to the villages outside the city, and when we got there, there was this big pond of water. It was green. People were in it. There was a man, actually bathing in that water. And I saw a woman walk into the pond, feet in the pond. She had a pitcher of water and she was drawing water. And, I turned to one of the men that was guiding us and I just basically asked, what is she doing? And he told me that was her drawing her water for the day and for her family. And just kind of really blew my mind. Being in America, that doesn't even make sense. We have so many options on clean water, let alone, our faucet water. And it really impacted me. And as I flew home, I was thinking about it. When I got back, I was thinking about it for weeks, and finally went up to the man that, set all of it up, Clifford, and talked to him about, maybe setting up a water well and just doing what I could when I could. And I had some friends that kind of helped me, and we started doing a few wells here and there just to get things going. And that's how it all started. The vision behind Make Well is pretty simple. We're just trying to create change in families' health and life through clean water. Trying to make as big of an impact as we can, one family at a time, one well at a time. Today, we're at either built or in the process of being built 26 wells total in India. And each well can provide clean water for thousands of people. And we are hoping to get close to 30, if not 30, by the end of the year as well.
Water wells. And I've heard conversations around churches doing stuff like this, and people say, well, what you ought to be doing is teaching those people a Bible study. Well, they can't listen to the Bible study if they die because they don't have clean water. Oh, that's just, you're just doing that social justice stuff. Justice is a God idea. And one man with a vision and a dream that didn't come from this place. Nobody said, Tim, you need to go dig wells. And no, he saw a need and he started something. What would happen if everybody in this room started something when they saw a need? Stand with me. 30 water wells. 30 water wells. It wasn't a church idea. It was a passion and it was a calling. And he just said, I'm going to start small. Let me tell you the beauty of these wells. I've been in a village that has one of these wells. On the well where you draw, there's some that are huge wells, some are just traditional pump wells. On the village where I was, there's a cross in red tape on the well. That means this is a Christian well. The Christian wells are dug deeper and full of cleaner water. There's a rule in many of the villages that if you converted to Christianity, you can no longer drink from the city well. They will cut you off and not allow you access if you profess to be a Christian. But the thing about the Christian wells that Tim is working on is, hey, anybody can drink from this well. You don't have to be a Christian. It's not wells for, no. If you're thirsty, come and draw water. Is there any more beautiful picture of the plan of God and what we are called to? If you're thirsty, come and get water. And our goal is to help as many people get their souls to a place of drinking deep as we possibly can. That's what we're called to. While you're standing, I want to real quickly point you to South Korea, a place called Camp Humphreys. At 3,600 acres, it is the United States military's largest facility overseas. It's home to 41,000 soldiers, family members, and civilian employees. And it looks like a town in Texas. There's even a Texas Roadhouse on the base. They got food trucks, sidewalk fountains. There's a mall. There's barbecue pits fired up. Bake sales going on, school fundraisers. Seems completely normal, but all of these scenes play out under the protection of Patriot missile defense systems. They are 60 miles from North Korea and nuclear war. Just a few minutes flight time from one of the world's largest arsenals of dangerous rockets and military guns that point south, trained on them. And it's a threat to everybody that lives there, from generals to high school students to children. Everybody's got to be in a state of readiness every day. Everybody, every citizen of that base has got a go bag. with vital documents, medicines, essential clothes, everything they need in case the alarm sounds and we've got to move and we've got to respond. You cannot forget where you live. You cannot forget that it's not what it looks like. There's danger out there. And so they teach it to their children. And they reaffirm it to each other. We can't get lost in what it looks like. It looks like safety. It looks like normal. The one philosophy is that you cannot forget where you are. Church, if I could give you one philosophy for your life, for going through the motions and going to work and building our 401ks and enjoying our existences, you better not one day forget where you are. You are an outpost on the edge of danger. Every house represented in this room is a military base from another kingdom. And you are on the edge of danger every day. And they've got everything in their arsenal trained on you and what you stand for. And you better not get so comfortable and so lost in what it looks like that you forget we got to be ready to go. We got to be ready for a mission. We got to be ready for the alarm to sound. We've got to be ready. There's a purpose out there. The apostolic home is the outpost on the edge. It's a piece of another kingdom on every street, preparing every day for the fact that we know we're going to win what looks like an unwinnable war. But you can't forget where you are.